At Rhodes University, a pioneering full-time honours program in humanities is preparing students to become tomorrow's leaders, researchers, and policymakers.
It's too late to get students at master's and PhD level. When at honors, they don't have the interdisciplinary foundational thinking because they have been in silos.
Teaching research skills can equip future policymakers to deal with South African challenges.
I do believe that for most students, we start encountering research in honors. And I do believe that if maybe we could learn some research skills in our undergrads, it would make a big difference. But I do know that we were sort of thrown the deep end in the beginning of the year, in the first term, having to create a concept note for the first time, having to decide which research you want to do.
It was with these challenges in mind that the Interdisciplinary Honours degree in Development Studies was born.
You know, in policymaking, we were always looking for young researchers to come in as interns at master's and PhD, and we often struggled to find students who had those experiences and skills.
The ISER came about with the intention of developing research initiatives with other academic departments at Rhodes.
This was an effort by Rhodes to understand where it was historically and geographically, and to begin to play more and more of a role in what later and famously became the betterment of the Black people of the Eastern Cape.
Under Peter Vale's leadership in 1984, the ISER's research agenda helped to expose the evils of the apartheid political economy.
It was a very dramatic period around 84, 85, 86. And it was a really tough time to be there. I guess it's testimony to how much we were engaged that the security police on 2 or 3 times actually raided the ISER, looking for people who were working on different things. And that was, I think, a moment that the ISER began to reach into the community, into the guts, the raw guts of politics in South Africa.
Decades later, in a new democratic era, a fresh version of the ISER's vision emerged: the honours degree in Development Studies.
So instead of starting that whole process from scratch, we, in a way, resuscitated the program that was already in the Rhodes calendar in humanities. I then spoke to the various departments that had been historically involved and also the ones that were not part of that program. For example, I approached economics, politics, history, sociology, anthropology, languages, linguistics, to then try to have as many, people participating, and everyone was excited,
Taking modules from economics department. I'm taking modules from African languages. I'm taking modules from politics, and I'm taking modules under ISER. That is, then in addition to all that, I'm doing a research project. So it is overwhelming when you're not ready for it, but when you actually look at the goals and what you gain by looking at these different disciplines, it's actually worth it, and I'm enjoying it.
Thanks to its multidisciplinary design, the ISER Honours course gives students a wide range of learning options.
I chose modules that are easily accessible to students from as many different backgrounds to just make the integration easier, especially in the Department of Economics, that would be accessible to students from humanities. And I think what made that even more possible for me is because I had been an academic in the Department of Economics, so I had a sense of what courses in economics could be accessible to humanities students. And I thought if humanities students learn the economics language and economics students learn the humanities language, it's a nice mix.
I think it's very helpful. For example, I do know that in my undergrad, I was doing politics and sociology. Most of the work was theoretical. Now that we've engaged with some economics students and economics theories, we are starting to see the practical side of policy making, the practical side of development studies. So it's no longer theories such as Marxism, theories such as socialism and all that. We are looking at those theories and how they can be helpful if we are to engage in policy making at a practical level.
Through collaboration across departments and a shared vision, the qualification took shape, bringing interdisciplinary theory into practical reality.
Everyone was excited, especially the Department of Politics. And it was a nice trade-off with the politics department because I also invite their students to come and take one of our modules with us, and they really love it, the politics students. And then I guess the challenge now was, okay, so how do we make this practical?
A bold new program is born in the Faculty of Humanities.
No way.
I wanted to move a little bit away from theory, especially taking into consideration the unemployment rate in South Africa. So I do believe a honors degree that has some practicality to it would increase my chances of getting employed. I do know when I was looking at the government circulars for posts, I did see that development studies is there. So it was a matter of choosing between doing a politics honors degree and doing a development studies degree. And I did evaluate both of them, and the development studies honors degree is more practical than a politics degree. So that's why I chose ISM.
I have a passion of supporting the country, supporting the work on policy making, because almost everything runs around policy making, and it runs about around research. And as an aspiring researcher, I had to accept that taking different disciplines and knowing what is happening in different disciplines would be able to make a significant decision, especially to policymakers. So yes, that's one of the major reasons why I chose ISA.
So our ICR honors degree is a year-long degree. To complete the degree, you have to take on 5 modules. 2 modules are compulsory. The first one is the long paper, and this is basically an honors dissertation. And the second module is the ICR Social and Economic Policy in an African Context module. Then our students are able to pick 3 other modules from participating disciplines, and this is what basically underscores the interdisciplinary nature of our degree.
Students choose a research project that reflects their interests and ambitions.
So my topic is a comparative study between private schools and public schools in South Africa. One of the reasons why I chose this topic is that I wanted to study the effect of social arrangements. I do know that children who go through private education have different social arrangements to students who go to public schools. If government could look at those social arrangements, for example, such as keeping students away from the townships, from the rural area, and take them into public boarding schools, maybe they can have the resources such as those who go through private education.
Facilitators play a role, but much of the learning is between students.
So I think that the interdisciplinary nature of the degree offers a unique sort of learning environment for all of the students because everyone is from different departments. So there's a lot of student interaction, there's a lot of discussions, informal discussions, which take place. In doing that, they are encouraged to help each other out and share skills that are learned with each other instead of competing against each other.
Students are taught quantitative methods to cover gaps in theoretical skills. There's a collaboration with UCT-based research unit, Data First.
Data First is a data repository that offers quantitative data users a very user-friendly platform of accessing data.
With training from Data First, students learn how to ask the right questions and how to turn raw data into real insight.
We also teach our students statistical software, so that's Stata. So the data analysis that I teach is basically teaching our students how to analyze data and process data using Stata. And this is very exciting because not only do they learn how to use a statistical software, our students also engage with nationally representative data, and the questions that we ask them to explore using the data are very much real social issues that we currently face in our country. So I think like collectively these are points or these characteristics really distinguish our IACR social and economic policy module from other honors modules.
According to how I understand policy, it's a form of legislation, but then it's something we need to adhere to as an individual or an organization. So I would say like it's a principle or principles that we need to live by.
Unlike an essay, a policy brief is driven by evidence. It's written for real-world use and not just academic critique.
This transdisciplinary way of looking at the world, but also the quantitative skills to use in presenting the evidence to support arguments that they're making. And ultimately, we thought that those skills would be useful for them in policy influence or policy analysis or policy formulation, but they would just be competent to work and contribute to development issues in the country if they are well-rounded in that sense.
Well, in my perspective, I'm looking at the scholar transport problem, which is one of the major problems faced as scholars and subject.
I do believe studying policy, drafting and ranking helps us to not only look at the problems, but also to look at the possible solutions in terms of discourse and debate.
One of the things that we offer to our students, give them an experience on, is to take part in the Economics Honors Annual Conference, where the Department of Economics at Rhodes invites departments of economics in the Eastern Cape for postgraduate students to present their projects, their work. So they get that experience not only of mixing with economics students at Rhodes, but in the whole province. And some of them are involved in the organization of the conference as a committee. So that is very fulfilling in a way.
In addition to networking with peers at the conference, honours students attend seminars and workshops to further their understanding of course materials and their real-life applications. Students engage with facilitators and collaborators from key institutions, and over and above the academic value of these interactions, learners expand their professional networks.
We have a facilitator from the Department of Basic Education. Professor Martin Gustafsson comes in and talks about issues in education. So not only does he talk to them about practical policies that they are implementing in the department, but the issues of collecting and managing data in the department, data on education.
Data generally is of huge importance for research and for planning and for kind of projecting into the future and for policy making and, understanding the future of the economy, understanding the future of human capabilities. We have a big problem with insufficient skills in quantitative areas, everything from statistical analysis, data collection, sampling. So I think that one of the reasons why Nhlanhla was so keen to have me in is that he wants to kind of push that area in the ISA honors program. And I think he recognizes that things could be better in that area.
South Africa has a reputation for public policies that look impressive on paper, but lack practical ways to implement them. The ISER has made some of the course material accessible to all students.
By the way, we're opening up the data analysis course, just the short learning program, which doesn't require a student to have an undergrad degree.
And it's not just local. This course is sparking interest across Africa.
We've opened it up to the continent. We want our partners in Future Earth, Africa Hub. We've got partners in Ghana, we've got partners in Kenya, Tanzania, Burkina Faso. The point there is that we training South African students to master and understand trends and patterns in South Africa along this developmental path. But we want to have a conversation with with other people, other researchers, to have comparative analysis of what is happening in different countries.
The ISER is expanding online access, reaching more students across the continent.
So in a way, COVID was useful because it forced people to think beyond face-to-face, the classroom. And being based at Rhodes, a small town, can limit the pool of people who can participate in the various courses. In a way, I just wanted to share the experiences and skills that I had learned along the way over the 20 years.
I am interested in doing masters, and I've already even started writing my concept note for masters, which is the effect of water scarcity on the subsistence farming in the rural locations. So after this year, I'm going to pursue my master's still in the ISA department.
Next year, I'm going to enroll in master's and continue doing more research work, especially on the skills development. Because if you develop a skill, if you have a skill, it remains with you. And you move forward and it doesn't go away. It's not like food that you eat and then next time you have to eat again. But a skill, it helps you to actually become more skilled and more competencies and all that. And in the end, we will develop Africa together and we develop the world together. Most of these problems, they require skills. They require people who are willing to do what to be done. I am proud to say that I will continue doing more research so that I can help the whole world.
This isn't just a course, it's a movement of young thinkers shaping Africa's future, one policy brief at a time.